Hello, everyone. This is Kristie with AG Takes Over. I am so glad you're here. Not too long ago, I posted a community post just sharing some random things that I make late at night after the little one is asleep and my wife and I are watching TV, and said, these are the random things I make for my dolls in the evenings. And several of you asked if I could do a tutorial. So they kind of fell into two categories. One was jewelry, and I've done an earring tutorial. I will link that. So how to pierce them and how to make earrings for them. I will kind of redo that information, but also add information about bracelets and necklaces and maybe even a ring. I have done technically one ring for the dolls, so a more comprehensive jewelry tutorial is forthcoming. But for now, I'm focusing on a couple of the random hot glue crafts that I was making. And in that post, I shared a funnel cake and specifically the Heart of Te Fiti because I was finishing up a Moana costume for one of the dolls. I added something at the end, so there's a third hot glue craft, but all of these take very little money. You just need a little bit of paint and a little bit of hot glue and no incredible amount of talent. So hopefully you'll enjoy this, and if you do, give it a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. All right, let's get started. All right, so these are the supplies that I started with. And I traced circles. I did a larger one and a smaller one. The smaller one was what I had done originally. And then I decided I would do a larger one so that I could cut it up into pieces. And as an experiment, you can see here that I'm going to spray cooking spray on one and not the other. I did this on the opposite side of the paper I meant to, so this experiment was really a moot point. But anyway, heat up the hot glue. Let's make some funnel cakes. What I learned from this more than anything was that I need a better glue gun. So that promptly went on my Christmas wish list because I'm always being told that I don't put enough stuff on there. So I asked for a glue gun. If you have a glue gun, I mean, many of us do, but I don't assume that everybody does. If you have a glue gun, let me know if you have a favorite one. I know the one that I looked at has 2 heat settings, and that definitely would have helped here because this was like the lowest heat setting and it was taking forever. At some point, I'm sure I'm speeding this up for you so you don't have to watch. In fact, let me just do that. Yeah, I'm just going to do that now. All right, here we go. That's better. Wish that had been my real life experience. Anyway, just kind of moving all around, letting it dry a little bit, layer on top. You want several layers. And it was probably a little bit easier to take the one off that had the spray on. This one probably was harder because I was impatient and I didn't wait for it to dry all the way, as you can see by the residue left on the paper. Don't freak out. It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. So this is the larger one that I decided I wanted to cut into pieces. There's no way to tear it, so I did have to make these cuts. And of course, that's not the way that, it's not the way it looks when funnel cake gets pulled apart in real life. But I think the end results are not bad at all. Next, I grabbed some paint, and I'm going to stop this picture so you can see it for a while, but really don't stress. You don't need to buy the same paints. Use what you have on hand. I would say you're going to want some browns of different shades and a little bit of yellowish, and you're going to need white for sure. So you'll grab what you have on hand. I grabbed what I had on hand, and they don't have to be the same. Think of them as snowflakes. Delicious powdered sugar covered snowflakes. And I just realized that since making this video or since making these funnel cakes, I have been to at least 2 events that have had funnel cakes, and I haven't taken the dolls either time. I could have taken, man, if I had forethought, I could have taken the dolls and their funnel cakes and gotten some cute pictures of them in front of a funnel cake stand. All right, I will start speeding this up soon, but I am going to let you watch me paint the whole thing just so you can see. You don't have to pre-mix the colors. There's lots of little cracks and crevices. So a stiff brush with relatively short bristles, goodness. A stiff brush with short bristles was really effective. I did turn it over just because I don't, complete the look, right? I would make sure, and it looks a little shiny in here, but none of the paint is metallic. I would make sure that you're not using like a pearl finish or metallic finish because that's not what funnel cakes look like. So yeah, you might go back in, add, a little more brown depending on how long your funnel cakes were in the fryer. Delicious little snowflakes. I like to think that Bob Ross would approve. Don't worry if your hands are getting messy, or if you really worry about that kind of thing, wear gloves, but this is just acrylic paint, so it's going to wash right off. My older daughter was over and watching this, and she was just like, I just can't believe, like, she was watching it, and she was like, if I weren't watching this, I wouldn't believe it. Like, it really is looking like food. And I feel like I saw this on, not a tutorial or anything, but just like the product, um, a, a hot glue funnel cake on my Froggy stuff, my Froggy doll stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Famous, famous. Um, I feel like I saw that not too long ago and it just came up on maybe a reel on Instagram or something. And I went, oh, I could do that. I don't need a tutorial. I can do that. But some of us do like tutorials. So here's this for you, right? Okay, let everything dry thoroughly. And then this next part is a little trickier. You're going to want to make sure that the brush is really dry. And I don't have a stippling brush, but that's basically what I'm trying to emulate here. So stiff bristles, short bristles, and no sweeping motion. Everything is just an up and down motion. So you're hitting it like a sprinkling, like a dusting of powdered sugar. How much you put on there is up to you, but that motion is what's making the difference. Anything that's a brush motion, I think you're going to lose the magic. It's not going to be believable. And isn't that what's most important, that people can believe that our doll food is really doll food? With all that's going on in the world, that's what's most important. Anyway, yeah, I am loving how this is coming along. And at this point, my daughter's going, no, now I can eat it. Like, now it looks legit. As soon as you put the powdered sugar on it, like, it looks real. It's crazy to me, the really, really simple, like, only takes a few minutes, does not require a lot of talent, does not require a lot of money, and the results don't look, oh, fancy taste on a shoestring budget. No, like, the results look legit. It looks good. If you are a crafty person and you have done hot glue crafts for your dolls, let me know in the comments what have been some of your favorite easy ones. If you have a channel, feel free to share the link in the comments to one of your videos, or a playlist if you've got them. I know some of you are amazing crafters. So my goal for 2024, not my only goal, but one of my goals, is to do more of the tutorials that I watch. So I'm asking for some different crafting supplies that I don't have on hand. That's one of the things that stops me is, you're going to need this kind of sculpey clay and you're going to need this kind of foam. And I go, well, I don't have those things. So I watch the videos and then I don't do them. But for Christmas, I'm asking for some basic supplies that I don't have. And my goal is to do some more of the tutorials because there are so many amazing AG tubers with like mad crafting skills, and I want to bring some of their creations to life in our own dollhouse. Anyway, this is definitely, thinking about it, this is definitely like a jumbo. This is like a family size funnel cake, and I don't know that I would make most of them this large. I do think I like fills a average American Girl doll plate size better. But look how good that looks. You got to make sure that the brown paint is completely dry because you don't want this to get muddied. And you got to do that just short, straight up and down, repetitive motion. You're just barely tapping it. And I will skip over painting the next one because I think you've gotten the idea by now. But yeah, once I finish this one up, we'll kind of skip ahead a little bit. But just to give you a sense of time to do the one giant one, cut it up into 4, and the other smaller one, start to finish, probably took me about 20, 25 minutes tops. Maybe closer to 20 if I weren't pausing to do filming stuff. And look at that, totally worth it. And I intentionally put more powdered sugar on one than on the other, just so you could see that difference here. So you can do whatever floats your boat. All right, let's skip past this one. Ta-da! All right, so there are my funnel cakes. They don't all look the same, but they all look good. All right, next up is this little heart of Tafiti. I made the whole necklace, but I'm going to focus on the hot glue piece. So I grabbed a little metal spoon. I put some oil on it. Not necessary. The first time I did it, I didn't put oil on it, so you can completely do whatever you want. Either way, as long as the spoon is metal, you're not going to damage it. You could just put it probably flat, but I wanted to see if it made it a little round on the back by using the spoon. I think I was just going for something a little extra. And there's really no way you can mess this up. I was going in a swirl motion, but it didn't really make any difference. However you want to do it, you're just going for an oval shape. And then that's what it's looking like as it's drying. I checked to make sure it was completely dry, popped right off. And if you have like an awl, AWL, a little tool, a piercing tool, like a jewelry or leather piercing tool, you could use that. I don't know if we have one of those tools. I was upstairs and I knew we had a fork, so guess what? A fork will work. And I wanted to make sure that I got the hole pierced before I painted. And then I'm going to speed this up. Again, don't stress about it. Use whatever blue you have on hand. The first time I did this, I just did blue and like metallic and shimmery stuff. But this time I added some design. So here you can see the final product. And here are some pictures of Moana out and about on Halloween. So this one was really fast. But there wasn't much to it. You just make an oval blob and paint it blue. And if you want it to be all blue, do that. Just mix up some different blues. And if you want it to have a design, then put the design on it. Boom. So next up is not really a craft, it's just a bonus. I was trying to get rid of all the hot glue that I had in the gun already so that I could put in the glow-in-the-dark glue sticks. And rather than just squeeze it out into a puddle, I made a little spider web because we were close to Halloween when I filmed this. So there you go. Moving on. Glow-in-the-dark glue sticks. Didn't know they were a thing, but it made me think of all of those glow in the dark or those glow sticks that you can get at the Dollar Tree, especially around Halloween. And I thought, let me make one of those for my dolls. And I ordered a pack of glow in the dark glue sticks. I feel like that's a lot to say. And just wanted to use whatever I had in the house. So I wasn't, spending any extra money or going to any extra trouble. And we happened to have paper straws left over from a birthday party or something. And hindsight 2020, I would highly not recommend this. I'm not sure what I would recommend instead. Not metal straws because it'd be hard to get them out, get the glue out. I'm not sure if plastic straws would melt. You would want a glue gun that has like a very low heat setting for this if you do that. The only issue with the paper straws was it was just kind of a pain to get all of it off, to peel it and then wash it some more and scrub it and scrape it off, and was like all this work for a little tiny craft. But anyway, I just kind of eyeballed it and cut the straws, and I squeezed the glue down into it. And on a couple of them, as you can see here, I kind of let it overflow, and I pinched the top of it so that I could have something to pierce and run a cord through, because I wanted to do those lanyard style glow sticks. So here's what I ended up with after all the scrubbing and scraping off the paper residue. And Karma has one in her hand, one around her neck. I charged them by holding them up to the light. I will say you'd have to hold them up to a light source for a few minutes. And once you have them in the dark, they don't hold their glow for a terribly impressive amount of time, but long enough to take pictures, long enough that it was cool and kind of worth it. So here's what they look like in the dark. Look at that. It worked. It was so cool. And I don't think that I had seen I know I hadn't seen anything like this floating around on AgTube or anywhere. So I was excited about it. Anyway, that's it. A funnel cake, a heart of Tefiti, or you could do any kind of necklace, big charm and make it exactly how you want it. And some glow sticks. Hopefully you're feeling inspired to do one or more of these on your own. And again, let me know fun hot glue crafts for your dolls down in the comments. If you like what you see, please tune in again next week so that you can watch my next video. You don't have to wait. I have a bunch of videos. So I'm going to put a playlist on the left and a video picked out especially for you on the right, and you can go ahead and binge watch right now. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me.